What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here. We are back with another episode of Spurs Weekly. Let's get straight into it.
All right, so obviously fixtures were released today. Always massive day in the Premier League calendar. And for the second consecutive season, Spurs open the season with Newcastle away from home, which is always a hard place to go, but, you know, up in the Tyne.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be a lot harder this year than it was last year.
And even last year wasn't easy.
Yeah.
Scraped through that one.
But are you looking forward to your night out on the Toon?
Oh, yeah. I know, you got to go on the night of the town. That's what it's all about. I'm sure we'll see Lee from Newcastle Fan TV up there. Nice one, Lee. Bigger news, though. Spurs will be playing their first home game of the season at Wembley, which will be played against Fulham in August. And we play 3 of our first 4 games away from home while the new stadium gets ready.
The little trip into Old Trafford in there as well.
Exactly, yeah. Not too shabby. And our first game at the new stadium is Liverpool at home on the 15th of September. So absolutely massive game to open the new stadium for. It's going to be absolutely buzzing.
What are the chances of that being delayed?
Who knows? But listen.
For now, it's Liverpool.
For now, it's Liverpool. It looks likely it's going to stay that way.
But the 2 big games of the season, 1st of December, we go to Arsenal. We have to win there this season. We actually have to win
After
there.
what happened last season, absolute disgrace.
And 2nd of March will be the first North London derby at the new stadium. The place is going to be absolutely rocking. So I can't wait for that.
Can't wait to get into our new stadium. There's a lot to Spurs have announced a few test events for the new stadium. A lot has been announced. For their schedule, we can check out on the website. On the 5th of August, there's going to be a first test event. There's also going to be one either on the 18th and 19th of August, also on the 25th of August, and on the 1st of September. So 4 test events for the new stadium before the big opening, a grand opening against Liverpool.
Did you see all the Liverpool fans coming out saying, "Oh, you're having all these test events, so you're going to get practice in the new stadium before you play us"?
What are they on about?
They're nuts.
Don't even bother with Liverpool fans on Twitter. They were trying to argue something. They'll sign a petition to get you banned or something. I don't know.
But what I'm really happy about is our run-in. For the first time in a long time,
we have quite a decent run-in.
Our run-in, I think, out of the last 6 games we got 5 very winnable games and a trip to Man City in there.
And a trip to Man City in the last 4 games. We end the season at home to Everton, so it remains to be seen how good they're going to be. Obviously, Marco Silva now in charge. But yeah, our run-in does seem favourable. Hopefully, we can take advantage of that. Obviously, having our first 3 of our first 4 games away from home, we'll have some home games at some point consecutive somewhere during the season. So there's a lot to look forward to during the season. Obviously, a big curtain raiser against Liverpool is going to be massive.
And we don't have that kind of run which we usually have every season, where we play like 2 or 3 big teams in a row.
I agree. I do think we have Chelsea and Arsenal consecutively.
Do we?
Yeah, twice.
That's going to be a big week.
Twice, I believe we have.
That's going to be a big week.
So Chelsea. So that's to look forward to. But there's your stadium update, and
you remember the last time we played Chelsea and Arsenal in a row?
Of course, absolutely. After we lost to Porto in the semi-final,
yep.
That's when Bale became a man. All right. That was your stadium update. Those are all if you want to check out the full fixture list, you go on the Spurs website. Link will be in the description below. But let's move on to some transfer news. And the big news coming out this week is that Spurs have lodged a reported £15 million bid for Jack Grealish from Aston Villa, which we talked a bit about last week. There was rumours about 40 million or maybe like 35, but we've lodged a very Daniel Levy-esque bid of 15 million, obviously.
You know, Villa, it's actually a shame to see what's happening at Villa with all their cash problems, and it looks like they even could go into administration. Having said that, Daniel Levy does like poaching a player or 2 off cash-strapped clubs.
Exactly. It's not old to him.
Yeah, Aaron Lennon we got for 1 million.
It's not new to him. Exactly. Bale, the whole Bale deal, they foregoed his sellback clause.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
the sell-on clause, so they can get the money now. So we end up only spending 5 million on him, and they lost out on about 8 million, 10 million because we sold him to Madrid.
But what do you think about Grealish?
I said in the last video, I hope I'm not against the signing of Grealish as long as we don't have too much focus on him in our transfer window.
But what do you think of him in general as a player?
I think he's a good player. He's a tidy player.
And where does he fit in as well?
I think he's definitely an attacking midfielder, somewhere in the 3 behind the striker, so he'd fit in pretty well there. He'll be a squad player, be someone to bring on or someone to start the cup games.
But he hasn't been playing there this season.
Where?
He's been playing centre mid this season.
He's kind of been floating around.
He's been playing centre mid. And and if we can get well, we don't need to get it because we got it. We got Dyer and Wanyama. You have Grealish sitting next to him.
Mm-hmm.
You know Dembele is going, and what we've always said about Dembele, he doesn't have that forward passing thinking, and that's what Grealish has. And he can really connect our midfield to the three behind.
But then you look at our midfield, we'll have Winks, Wanyama, Dyer, and Grealish, right?
Yeah.
You compare those 4 centre mids to the 4 centre mids of our rivals. Does it stack up? Probably not.
No, probably not.
Probably not. That's what I'm saying.
When you're talking about Grealish and Winks, though, you don't really know how they're going to be next season.
That's true.
They can come on leaps and bounds. They're really young players.
It's true, but I just feel like if we're going to spend big on a centre midfielder...
But that's not big, it's 15 million.
Right, that's my point. But if we're going to spend 50 million on him, that's fine, but we need to bring in someone else as well. We can't just rely on that.
I agree.
We need big investment centre mid. So that's why I'm a bit hesitant on this Grealish signing. I'm happy for him to come. I think he's a good player, a lot of potential. Poch can nurture him, but I don't want him to be the main focus of our summer. I think we need serious investment in centre midfield, and I don't want him to be our only signing there in that position. That's how I see it.
So that brings us on to Mousa Dembele, the great Mousa Dembele, the GOAT. I'm really upset that he's leaving, to be honest.
Anyway, let's just say that he's RMC Sport reporting that we have agreed a £30 million deal with a certain unnamed Chinese club. Not sure which one it is.
Well, apparently it's Gansu Evergrande.
So that's the one. So apparently he is going to get a big payday out in China. Apparently Spurs favour a move to China for Dembele as opposed to Italy, and I'm sure Dembele probably prefers that as well, more money in his pocket. And he's never been that type of player who's so football centric. He's a bit laid back. He's the kind of player he likes to enjoy life. So I think a big payday for Dembele is on the cards there. And there were a lot of reports saying he might move to Italy. Juventus and Napoli are all interested in him.
I wouldn't like to come up against him in the Champions League, that's for sure.
But apparently Spurs are favouring a move to China. So it looks like it's happening. Looks like Dembele is going to be off.
It's a big shame. It's a big shame.
And in this current market, I know he's 30, going on 31, but 30 million for a player of Dembele's talent, is that a lot of money? Probably not.
No, but the problem is that he's out of contract. He's only got a year left on his contract.
That's also true.
So 30 million is actually a great price.
It's not bad, but you think about it, Oxlade-Chamberlain last year went 50 million, also 1 year on his contract.
Yeah, but Liverpool's spending money like 75 million on Van Dijk.
Yeah,
they
true.
spend money.
So if looks like Dembele's off, which is a big shame. I think part of me thinks it's a massive shame. Part of me also thinks there's a chance for us to really invest in this central midfield and maybe go to the next level, because I think maybe Dembele got us as far as he could, and maybe we can just take that next step up and get a centre mid with a real passing range, someone who can affect the final third, and someone who has more an effect on both sides of the pitch. For all Dembele's qualities, I absolutely love the guy. He's the best in the Premier League at keeping the ball, dribbling with the ball, and moving forward. But once he gets to that final third, it just seems like a block.
But the thing is that when you look at the massive games this season, Dembele really came into his own. When you're looking at the Arsenals, the Juventuses, the United, like he was
in the league.
He was sensational. He didn't win the game for us, but he was a big factor of us winning those games.
100%. He was probably man of the match in at least 2 of those games, especially
probably all
away.
of them. Probably all of them.
Yeah, he was absolutely superb. And it's going to be a shame.
It's going to be a big ask to replace him.
I'll
tell you that.
I agree with you. He's a player of his quality. He's a massive ask, but it needed to happen. I think it needed to happen. And I'm very sad that Dembele's in. Part of me is excited to see if we can sign someone who can take us to the next level. Then maybe we can take a next step up. But it's going to be damn hard to replace a player of Dembele's quality, a world-class player.
Right, moving on to the Toby Alderweireld situation.
Yeah, so there's a few interesting developments that have happened this week. So supposedly that we reported last week, Spurs and Man United apparently 20 million difference in their valuation. Spurs value him around 65 to 70 million. Man United value him about 45 to 50.
I love that 65 million valuation when next summer they can get him for 25 million.
It's very Levy. But supposedly Man United have now pulled out of the deal. Apparently they're looking at other options. Apparently they're not interested in Toby Alderweireld anymore.
We haven't heard the last of that this summer.
I don't think we have. But it was interesting. Toby was quoted this week. He was asked about whether it's possible he would stay at Spurs next season. He said, "Why not? I've got 2 more years left on my contract, and we'll see what happens." So some promising signs there that maybe actually he could end up staying at Spurs after all. But
the problem is that there's no chance Levy's going to let him stay without signing a new contract. There is no chance of that.
Yeah, so we'd have to sign.
So he either signs, or we're gonna end up getting like 40 million for him or something like that.
Well, hopefully, if we do, it's abroad and not to Man United. That's the one thing.
But at the end of the day, he can reject any transfer he wants and pick the club he wants to go to next summer for 25 million.
Yep. And also, if he has a very good World Cup, who knows? It could change things a lot. And the World Cup always changes things for players. A player has look at Sissoko. He has a good World Cup, and he also.
But what I'm trying to say is, Toby really holds all the cards in his hands.
Yeah, of course. I'm saying what I'm saying is, if he has a good World Cup, maybe more teams be in for him.
We're in a very weak position with Toby Alderweireld.
Yeah, because of this release clause he has for next season.
It's very un-Levy to put that release clause in his contract.
It was a release clause that didn't seem that would ever come about, but it just so happens is now we're in a position where next season, if we extend his contract, he has a clause. If we extend it, it'll go to 25 million. Release clause. So we'll see what happens. We haven't heard the last of it, but a few more promising signs, probably more promising than it was a week ago, that he might stay, even though it's not that promising. But it's good that the rumours that United have pulled out.
It's promising he will stay, but it's not promising when you're looking at next summer.
Well, next summer
he's not going to sign the contract. I can tell you that.
Why?
I just can't see it. I
can tell you that as if it's a fact.
Why wouldn't he have signed it already if he was going to sign it?
Because he hasn't been offered the money. Maybe now we're offering bigger wages. Maybe we'll think twice about offering him wages. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe we didn't want to make him the highest paid player at the club until we've offered everyone else contracts who've deserved, like Vertonghen, Ali, Ericsson. I don't know. I don't know if we'll offer him the 180 he wants, but maybe there can be a compromise there if no one comes in for him for like 50 million we want.
I'd love that to happen, but I just can't see it. In the end
I know. What I'm saying is it's probably more promising than last week.
Yeah.
Seeing as United have pulled out supposedly, and these quotes from Toby, maybe could be something. Who knows? It looks more. Just my point. It looks more promising than last week.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, he's just going to end up going to United for 25 million next summer. So
I don't know. Listen, it's a long season. A lot can happen in a season. So I wouldn't put that at full conclusion. But under other clubs' news, Matthias de Ligt has reportedly handed a transfer request for Ajax, which maybe opens the door back for Spurs to enter negotiations again. So that'll be interesting.
He's one I really want, just because he's got that. He's played with Sanchez for a year, maybe even two. Keeps that Ajax contingent strong at Spurs.
We said that last week after the news report to get Spurs to pull out the deal.
I'd love to see him at Spurs.
But maybe now he's handed a transfer request, it could force Ajax's hand a bit. Maybe they'll lower the fee. Maybe it could change things. Spurs still looking very unlikely on that front. But in other bigger news that could have ramifications for Toby is that Martial has now asked to leave. He's handed the transfer request at Man United. And if Spurs can get a deal done for Martial and the Toby swap deal, I think that could be best for all parties.
Yeah, but Man U came out today and said that he's not for sale and he's very much in our plans for next season.
So I think it's interesting.
And United really hold all the cards there because he's down on a contract, isn't he?
No, he's only got 1 year left.
He's got 1 year?
Yeah.
Really? That changes everything.
He's only got 1 year left, Martial, so it's going to be interesting on that front. If Spurs can get a deal done there, I think that'll be best for all parties, just in two players who want to swap positions. I think Martial will be a very big benefit to the squad. I think it's some of the quality I think we need up front.
I would love Martial. I've loved him for so long. Yeah. And apparently he really wants to play for Poch, and Poch really wants him.
In all honesty, I can't see it being done. I think he's more likely to stay at United than come to Spurs. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, we'll get him on a freebie next summer.
Maybe. But no, he's probably more likely to go somewhere abroad. Apparently, they're very reluctant to sell to a Premier League team. So it looks very unlikely a deal can be done between Spurs and Man United. But you never know. You can always cross your fingers. They want Toby, we want Martial. So maybe something can be done, but I highly doubt it. I think he'll probably move to like Juventus or Bayern Munich.
We're the only mugs that sell to Premier League clubs.
Yeah, we're the only ones, unfortunately. So I wouldn't get your hopes up just. But a chink of light that, he put in a transfer request to United, so he definitely wants to leave. So maybe something can happen there. All right, that was your Spurs Weekly. Come join us again next week for all things Spurs. We'll have all the transfer updates. We'll check out our World Cup daily show that we round up all the days' action of the World Cup and maybe do some scouting for Spurs players as well during those shows. So check out for that. Like and subscribe, comment below. Let us know what you think of the transfer news. Let us know what you think of the fixture list as well. And as always, come on, you Spurs.